Here's a fun one. Let's talk about sin. I heard a definition of sin today that was something along the lines of God has given us, defined what we can and can't do, and sin is when we do those things that we can't do. Which might be true, but it's definitely not the whole truth. So I want to give a different perspective that I think is going to be a bit more helpful and a lot more freeing to us, and more hopeful too. So we go back to the beginning. We have Adam and Eve eating the apple, which a similar story to that is Pandora opening the box and letting all the bad things and evil into the world. And so the way I would like to frame these stories is, for Adam and Eve, they ate the apple and it was poisoned. It was poisoned. It was poisoned with unlove because they went against what God wanted for them. They went against the relationship with him. And in the Pandora example, she lets all this bad, evil things out into the world. And that infects the world. And from the biblical perspective, when that poison infects Adam and Eve, remember, these two are kings, the god and goddess of the creation that God has created. They're the little gods. He has given them responsibility for all things in this universe. So when they are poisoned, the entire thing is poisoned. I think we've all seen what the effect of a bad leader, a bad king can do, like just throughout history. It's always there. So when they are poisoned, the whole thing becomes poisoned. But it's a disease. And a disease is not something we do, it's something we suffer. And sin is something we suffer. And the ultimate, and this disease, by the way, is 100% fatal. 100% fatal. We will all die of the disease of sin. No one died before sin. Animals didn't die before sin. And so now we have sin. Now we are infected with this disease, and now we will all die. But it's also broken the rest of the world. Now, like I said, animals die, but there's also sickness, there's disease. We have to fight the ground for sustenance. There's no Garden of Eden. There's no, in certain places there's fruit on trees, sure. But we have people farming and tilling the soil and cultivating trees for food. That didn't used to be a problem. In Eden, that wasn't a problem. But now the world is poisoned, and there's weeds, and there's poisons in the soil, and there's bad weather. Because the earth is poisoned, because things are broken. And so sin is not just something you do. Like, I think there is a case that it is something you do, that it is when you go against God, that it is taking certain actions. But I would argue that on a more fundamental level, it is the state of the world. That we are born into a broken world, into broken bodies, with other broken people around us, sick world, sick bodies, sick world around us. And of course, that is going to lead to sickness in our lives. And I don't just mean physical sickness, but I mean like pain with the relationships, sickness in relationships, sickness in like desires, sickness in like desires not being filled, sickness in people dying because of, like things like genocide and homicide and murder. So all of these things come out of it. The reason I think this is important is because I think it's a lot more hopeful, because I think it paints a picture of a world where, yes, our actions matter. Yes, our actions affect our relationship with God, just like Adam and Eve's action to eat the apple. It was a fruit, but it's an unknown fruit, but infected their relationship with God and affected their relationship with God. And so our choices do still do that. But I think also fundamentally, we have to realize that we are sick, and that these things are symptoms of that sickness. And the hope is that someday we will not be sick anymore. That Jesus will heal us and heal the world and heal all things. And that will bring back just a more joyous state, something where we all thrive. So I think that's a really great hope we can have. And I think that's something that this perspective on sin can offer. But something to think about. Figure out what you think about it. Again, I don't do these videos because I care about likes or views. If this affects 5 people, or if this affects 5 people, I will be super happy. If it helps 5 people, I will be super happy. And I also do these things in one take, otherwise I wouldn't do them. But anyway, I'm just going to upload this as is, and hopefully this helps you.